Check one, two, two. There we go. How's everybody doing out there? Everybody good? Everybody good? That's what's up. Thank y'all for hanging out with us at Hayti Heritage Center. This is the closing of our Hip Hop 50 exhibit. I got 5-0 on it. So y'all give a round of applause for all the artists, our curator for holding it down. All of you out there in virtual world, thank y'all for hanging out with us. We're gonna get started in like 2 minutes. I'm gonna ask our curator to come on up to the stage. Y'all show your love for Davita, Miss Davita Galloway. It doesn't matter, wherever you want to be. Yeah. And this one or a regular microphone is cool, either way. So yeah, before we get started, give me like 2 seconds. Yeah. Give me 2 seconds. You can turn that back up. You can turn the music back up for a second. I ain't gonna hold y'all too long. Hold on 1 second. All right, y'all, we are back. And we back. All right.
Hello? Oh,
There
okay.
we go.
I was like, my mic does not sound nice.
Yeah. So, just to kick things off, Davita, if you don't mind just telling the people a little bit about yourself, for those that don't know
Okay.
who Davita is.
All right. What's up, y'all? How you doing? Hey, my name is Davita Galloway. I am from Winston-Salem. I live in Charlotte and have been for quite a few years now. What do? I'm a host, I'm a speaker, I'm a costumer. I express myself in a lot of different ways, whether it's fashion, painting. I'm a fabric artist as well. And if I'm feeling good, you might get a bar, 2 or 3. I'm playing. You don't want me to do that. You really don't want me to do that.
Turn that one off and use this one.
Okay. Hi. All right, and we're back. Let's see, what else? I'm a middle child. I love music. I really just love all forms of expression, honestly. Yeah. And this process, this journey, I'll continue if you don't stop me, was really, really dope, and I'm just grateful to have this opportunity, to curate such an exhibit, because hip-hop is transformative, bruh. So.
Yes, and a little bit of background on how she got to hear it at Hayti. I've known Davita almost more than a decade now.
For sure.
More than a decade. And she's done costuming for my theater company in Charlotte. And when I got up here, I was like, well, we need to collaborate on something, because we're always collaborating on something. Yeah. And this hip hop exhibit opportunity came up, and I was like, I know the perfect person to make this happen and bring all the people together. And Dupp&Swat have a series called Fresh to Death that they did, and they did a hip-hop exhibit at the Mint Museum.
Sure.
And I was like, well, we can just transfer that on over down here and create some magic over here at Hayti
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So how was it different? How was the exhibit at the Mint Museum different from here?
This one, yeah. So our very first Fresh to Death took place last year, June, I believe it was. The difference was for that one, and we've had 5 since. So 5 versions of this Fresh to Death exhibit, activation, selfie museum, because it's a lot of different moving pieces and parts to it.
Performances.
Oh,
showcase,
all of the
yeah.
above,
All of
honey.
it, yeah.
Okay. So how it differs is because, like I said, the first one, it was a celebration of us, of our culture of Black people, and our contribution throughout several decades. Well, by several, I mean like 4 decades. So we highlighted our excellence in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and the 99 and 2000s. And yeah, and so for that one, we had various artists and their works just create like these rooms, these spaces that told a story of how it was to experience the 70s through our lens and our perspective. Here, it's a little different. It just focused on hip hop. The one at the Mint focused on a variety of genres of music. Yeah.
Word. Can you talk about the first time you fell in love with hip hop?
Oh God. The first time, I don't even remember the first time. I can tell you like some of those earlier moments of like, so Salt and Pepper, definitely Push It was my jam, okay? But my cousin, one of my older cousins, he literally thought he was LL Cool J. And so like every time I would like go with my grandma's or something, he'll be there dancing, and even Kool Moe Dee, like he literally thought. I was like, bro, you really not, but you know, it was entertaining. So those are definitely some highlights for me. Of course, as we continue to progress through the decades, like Woo for all kinds of reasons, right? Jay, Nas, I mean, of course, and Little Kim, I don't know what she did to me. That hardcore, I mean, it was hardcore, but like, you know, I was grateful for that perspective from a woman, you know, and then of course Mary J, but yes.
Word.
Yeah.
I guess piggybacking off what you said into that question,
Yeah.
what makes you feel empowered through hip hop, or what is about hip hop that empowers you?
What is it about hip hop? It tells stories. I think the storytelling through hip hop, rap music particularly, how we express ourselves, how we can take not so great experiences and express it in a way that makes you feel good about where you are, where you're from, how it forms connection and connectivity through other people who experience that, how it tells stories that many people can relate to, others can't, but wish they could. How honest it is.
Word.
Even, I don't know if you call it to the detriment of the genre, but I appreciate how honest it is. Even in all of its forms, right? How it can be raw and raunchy. I love that. How it can be hotepish. We love all of it, right? We love all of hip hop and how it transforms,
Word.
how it impacts.
Word.
Yeah.
I think for me, hip hop impacted me. Like you said, people are able to say anything,
Yeah.
and it was like my first lesson in the First Amendment, because when we were growing up,
Yeah.
like they were putting bans on Luke.
Right.
And,
Oh gosh, yes.
You know, they were having Senate hearings about Tupac. And you were
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is
Yeah.
this? Is a record. What are you doing?
Yeah. Now wait a minute. Now that Uncle Luke, hold on. Let
Yeah,
me tell
now-
y'all.
now, Uncle
hold
Luke,
on.
he might have taken
That's
too
what I'm
far.
saying. I will never forget. I went to a club in Charlotte like many years ago, and Uncle Luke was there with his dancers, and I was just like, how did she do that? Oh my God. Anyway, never mind. Continue.
But
Yes.
it really was like our first civic lesson. Like You know, because you had civics. I don't know if they still do civics anymore, but I know I had civics in like the 5th grade. So it was like a immediate civics lesson on, you know, the Constitution, how it's implemented, and you know how, you know, the First Amendment.
Absolutely.
You know, you're able to say whatever. And not get penalized for it. However, they did a workaround, and then all the parental advisory stickers start popping up on all the CDs.
Sure.
That leads me into I don't want to jump around, but that leads me into another guest that we have, which is Will Gatson, and his story about the power of hip hop and community. So I'm gonna invite him to the stage to join the panel discussion and just tell a little bit about his experience in hip hop. And I'll ask him the same question that I asked you as he's making his way to the stage.
Sure.
So this is the first thing that he can say.
With his booty, that's what I'm saying. Yes.
Brother
absolutely.
Will, when did you fall in love with hip hop?
Hello, everyone. A long time ago.
Right.
I turned, when I was probably 11 years old. I grew up in a household, there was music everywhere. I was the youngest, so, you know, there was gospel, there was R&B, soul, and my best friend had a cousin in New York who was a part of a record pool. And back then, you know, if you're in a record pool, you were getting all of these demos and, you know, pressings of records underground. And he would get them from his cousin. His cousin would send them to him. Oh, let me back up. I'm from Florida, Tampa. So that made a difference. We were the only ones in the neighborhood. Anyway, he would record these records. Yeah. And he and I were the only ones in the neighborhood that had tapes. Treacherous 3, all of the early hip-hop groups. So I can firmly say that's when I fell in love with hip-hop, because it seemed exclusive. It had its own language. It had its own dress code, culture, and it wasn't just the rhyming. It was, you know, back then you wore what you had in the closet. It evolved into, you know, being a fashion show. And when it was affirmed in me was, I heard Rakim. That did it for me. You know, a few years later, Rakim came along, and I was like, yeah, I need to rock with this.
That's what's up.
Did you share? When did you fall in love?
So I'm similar to him. You know, my cousins, they grew up in D.C. So went to go to D.C. and we didn't have cable because we was country as hell, so we didn't have cable yet. And that was like the first time I had seen cable. My mind was blown. Right. Watching BET and Rap City was on, and I was like, yo, and you know, I had heard about hip hop from TV. You know, it wasn't foreign. Yes. But that was the first time, like, being personal with it. Because in D.C., where they were staying, like, all their apartments, all the kids had on the clothes, you know what I'm saying? Like, but long story short, I saw Special Ed's I Got It Made. And I was like, yo, this is the dopest shit I've ever seen in my life. And, you know, from there, it just snowballed the video after video. And yeah, that's when I first fell in love with hip hop. With that, Will, can you tell a little bit more about how community how hip hop impacted community for you?
So this brings me to North Carolina. I've been here 22 years now, and when I came, I was just telling my partner, Alric, my business partner, I've got like 200 vinyl albums. When I came here, I made sure that I immersed myself into, and Durham was the first place that I looked for. And there was a lot more going on in Durham than anywhere else. And for me, hip hop and community, it was where we got the news. Sometimes it was where ideas were shared, were born, and sent out to the masses. It was where the youth communicated to the adults.
Yeah.
And there was quite a bit back, like I say, I'm old enough to remember, there was back when anything happened, hip hop was at the forefront of letting you know how how everyone felt about it.
Can we talk about the South's impact on hip hop for a second? Since Andre 3000's new album just came out,
right.
and that's been the buzz around town. How it's not actually a hip hop album; it's more of an experimental jazz album. But that's neither here nor there.
Right.
Just talk about the impact of the Southern flavor on hip hop, and what would you say? Well, I already know what you're gonna say. This is the quintessential sound of Southern hip hop. I already know where you're going to. But just in general, how the South has influenced hip hop.
I think Dre said it best, right? And I mean, Andre 3000. Like, the South got something to say. We've always had something to say. Mm-hmm. And you just mentioned his experimental jazz album, as you call it. I have not listened to it yet. Have y'all? Yeah? Y'all feeling it, or? Yeah? I have to be honest. I was telling Q, I'm a little nervous to listen to it, but I will. It's just that I hold Andre 3000, and I just want a bar or two or anything from him, and to have a whole album, and he's not doing that. I feel away, but I'm definitely gonna give it a spin. I think there's a sound that we have, right? Well, it's in our slang, it's in our twang. It's our experiences here that show up in our music. Mm-hmm. It just feels a certain way to me. And I can rattle off tons of artists, and I fear where hip hop would be had we not inserted, the South, for sure. Yeah.
Definitely. I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't have your CeeLos, you wouldn't
What?
have
That
your
you wouldn't have no
Scarface.
UGK, all right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a lot of artists, right?
I think the South, provided the soul food for hip hop. Like, that's the way that I draw that parallel, because, for a long time it was New York, then it went to the West Coast, Midwest. South finally had their say, and we were finally eating, some good old fashioned, some down home soul food.
Cornbread. It's cornbread.
We just gonna go ahead and go here. Top 5.
I knew it. You go first.
Oh man.
Wait, top 5.
Top 5.
DOA?
Individuals or groups?
However you want to do it. Just top 5.
You going first?
No, you go. Right, you see his shirt.
I would say, because of his influence on me, I would have to say, people slept on Kumo D. True. As one. Kumo D held it down for the early years with the Treacherous 3 and when he went solo. So Kumo D is 5. I would say.
Right. No.
So let's do this. Yeah,
Go
let me do. Everybody do one,
Yeah,
and then everybody do two.
Think. I like the way you think. Yes.
I feel like my top 5 changes every day, depending on how I feel. So we can't. Can we list groups, or is that cheating?
We can list groups.
Okay,
We
cast.
cheat.
I gotta
We
say
cheat.
cast all day. You knew that was gonna happen for sure.
Oh man. If we're gonna do groups, then I'll just say the Roots.
Okay.
the Black Thought, but
All right, I feel
they
that.
couple together.
Okay.
Okay, I'll go Outcast for 4.
Okay. I was like, wait, I said that already.
Anybody keeping record of this?
Okay, for me, this is no particular order. Okay, because I shouldn't have said Cast first if that would, well, it's no particular order. Okay, Outcast, I'm gonna go. Okay. Yeah, Lil Wayne.
One. Oh. I'm gonna say Missy.
No doubt.
Missy.
No doubt. 100. Yeah.
All right, next I'll say Jay-Z.
Yep.
Yep, Jay-Z, yeah.
For what she did to me in my life, and Little Kim, y'all can say what y'all want, okay? But I'm gonna say Little Kim on my list for
Word.
today. Yes.
And like you say, it changes every day.
I
so
mean, for real, today.
Mine's already changed.
Exactly.
Okay,
Man.
I'm about to cheat.
Definitely CeeLo.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely CeeLo. Yeah. CeeLo for sure. Slash Goody Mob. Yeah, there we. Yeah.
Just
yeah.
Dungeon Fam.
yeah,
I mean, you know, all right.
I'll say Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang.
And I'll tell you why. So they're not just the fact that they're immensely talented as a group, but individually their contract structure. I really wish that Kumo D and Treacherous 3 had that type of contract structure back then, because Wu-Tang, I feel like they were built to be a group, go off and do your own thing, and then come back, say 25-year anniversary, 50 years of hip hop, they would have still been a group. Kumo D, I just feel like he never got, his just due for what he contributed, but Wu-Tang.
I gotta do CeeLo. He knows how I feel about CeeLo. Okay, y'all. So I was in Atlanta, I don't know, a few months ago at this hotel. I know I got a story for everything. And I was walking my dog, came out the hotel door, entry, whatever, and I looked to my left and CeeLo is there. And okay, I didn't have a chance to prepare or anything. I just immediately fangirled, and I completely I think he was more scared of me than. It was not what I was trying to give, Q, is what I'm saying. But, yeah, he was literally trying to get away from me. But I just had a moment. I really do adore CeeLo. Yes.
Oh, man.
Overdid it.
Oh, boy. Jay-Z. Gotta do Jay-Z.
Okay. My last will be controversial, but
We on the last one?
this is 5.
Yeah, that's fine for him. Yeah, yeah.
So
Right.
Biggie, Pac,
I'm about to start
Chuck
rattling
D.
them off, too.
True.
and ultimately Rakim. Like Rakim has always been like my favorite
Word.
lyricist, and
Yeah, that's not
Say they
controversial
agree.
at all. Yeah,
Yeah.
Not at all.
little doodoo pop.
So what is this for me? 4? This is 5 for me?
Yeah, it's fine, yeah.
Gosh.
It's the last
Kendrick, Cole, Missy, old Kanye, who else? I like Chance. I like Chance the Rapper. I like Lupe. I'm just late. Okay, now at this point, who else?
It's impossible.
top 5 is just so hard.
It is
impossible.
Like, cause did we say Nas at any point?
We did not say no.
I didn't say
Right.
Nas. I was supposed to say Nas in that whole my last.
Yeah.
And Lauryn Hill. I was like,
Yeah. Gosh.
Yep.
Yeah, top 5
It's
is
impossible.
hard. That's why I be like, but yeah.
I'm gonna throw in for my last Bahamadia. I love Bahamadia. She is so dope to me. Like her voice, like her rhyme skill is stupid
Yeah,
anyway, but her
yeah.
voice is
Yeah.
honey
yeah.
buns. Like
Yeah.
Philly all day.
Right.
Philly all day.
Black Thought, Jean Grey. Like people don't
Oh,
get
yeah,
Jean Grey would eat up anybody out there right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true indeed.
Look
True
her up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Cool,
mean,
cool.
Crit. Okay.
Next
Y'all
question.
get it.
Exactly.
We'll be here all
Exactly.
night.
But what about M? I feel like Eminem he definitely holds his own.
Yeah,
we
he
did.
holds his own,
Yeah,
for sure. And I forgot to do something before I called Will up here. Not only did I want to get when you fell in love with hip hop, but also I forgot to ask you to tell the people a little bit about yourself and background and.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Will, I go by Will Gatson, but Instagram is Willmatic01. And I'm in IT. I'm a developer by day, but at night, me and my partner Alric, we have Legendary Entertainment. So
Word.
we curate events centered around. This year we did brunch that centered around the 50th anniversary of hip hop.
Nice.
And we plan to. We got a show in Greensboro, December 30th, with a tribute band called the Frank White Experience.
That's why he's the business partner.
The Frank White Experience. It's a Biggie Smalls tribute band. So it's a live band, and they play
Nice.
nothing but Biggie with a DJ. We'll be doing that in Greensboro on December 30th. And we plan to do some other really cool curated events. We're going to try and head your way with some stuff and do some things that really make sense for hip hop because, well, I'm not going to get into my story just yet. I think that's later.
Gotcha. But now that you say that, hip hop has always been.
And I, but I also served on I was just trying to feel.
You good. Go ahead.
But I served on the board for the Art of Cool project when they started out and several years ago. And so I've been in touch with a lot of the different people relevant to this area in hip hop. Ninth Wonder, Fonte, all those people. I was hoping that my friend Davey came in tonight. Davey DMX is in the building. He's in the area. And he's sort of a mentor. Like, when I met him, it was like surreal. And now he's calling me on an almost daily basis. Hey, what are you doing? Come by.
Mic check. There we go. All right. Well, while we have a quick little segue, I would love to invite the artists that were a part of the exhibit, if they are here. I would love for them to come to the stage, if you don't mind. At least just introduce yourself, to the people. Come on up. I'll grab another chair. And y'all can pass this mic around. I'm gonna go fix this mic right here.
Yeah, it's fine.
But if you just introduce yourself and tell a little bit about yourselves. And Will and Davita, y'all don't have to go nowhere. We're gonna keep the conversation going. So yeah, if you just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your work, and when did you fall in love with hip hop?
All right. How y'all doing tonight? You doing good? Facts. All right, man. Bear with me. I get nervous talking in front of people, so just bear with me. But for y'all that don't know, my name is Alex Figueroa. I'm a full-time mixed media artist based out of Greensboro, North Carolina. I'm from Bronx, New York. I've been full-time for about 7 years now. Just kind of trial and everything for me, you know what I mean? Just kind of figured out my style and developing myself as an artist. I have a nonprofit here in Durham where we focus on mental health and self-expression and how self-expression can be very transformative for an individual. So, I love, my roots start off in graffiti. So when I was young, I used to be doing graffiti outside, vandalizing, doing the whole nine. And eventually I transitioned into canvas work and started doing clothing, murals, and things of that such. As far as when did I fall in love with hip hop, I don't know, like my cousins and my brothers always kind of, they listen to hip hop, you know what I mean? So I was pretty much listening to what they was listening to. But for me personally, I think it was like middle school, like I was around my friends and they were just diving into like Public Enemy, NWA, Tupac, like that whole like era of hip hop. So that pretty much intrigued me, and then from there things just kind of branched off into just different type of styles and artists like Nas, Jay-Z. Tupac was like a big influence for me. Biggie, of course. And then it just transitioned, and now like to today's hip hop, like I vibrate with artists that hold that type of energy, like Joey Badass or like a Dave East, or these people that they hold that like that core raw energy of hip hop, you know. So that's that. Yeah.
No pressure, right?
No pressure, no.
Okay, so my name is Tiffany Wilson. I am from Bowie, Maryland, but I live here in Raleigh, North Carolina. I do art as a side hobby. My regular full-time job, I'm a data analyst Monday through Friday, but then on the weekends or after work, I am constantly working on painting. My work is subject around particularly pop art, cartoons, anime. That's pretty much been my realm. I feel like that's a category. I feel like as Black people, we do not dominate at all. So I feel like we need to start paving that way particularly. When did I fall in love with hip hop? Oh my goodness. I grew up more traditionally on more so like Southern rap. So for me, I was brought up around like Outkast. But as I got older, I was introduced to like Nas. Even now, I'm more of a huge Crit fan. Definitely, I started listening to Public Enemy lately. I would say definitely Wu-Tang, of course. And I definitely would say like Biggie, Tupac era was definitely a riot, especially for high school. That was like the biggest debate for the longest, and probably still is a debate now to this day. Yep.
Hey everybody, my name's Kat Jordan. I am from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, but I live here in Greensboro, North Carolina. I am not a visual artist, so to speak. I'm more in the digital space, and my project was the 50 Days of Hip Hop, where I talked to 50 different people about their experience with hip hop, how they came to love the culture, and that's how I entered into that space. I fell in love with hip hop. Probably we always talking about our cousins. My cousin Jill, when I was younger, her boyfriend Darnell, my aunt was like, y'all can't go party in the street. But in the Midwest, we have basements. Everybody got a basement, so we had basement parties. And so Darnell used to DJ the basement parties. So I grew up like falling in love with like BDP and, of course, KRS-One, Public Enemy, all of that. But then when I got a little bit older, we would go out to Oakland because my mom had family out there. So then I got my Too Shorts, my DJ Quicks, I remember where I am. I see these pews up in here. Don't get me in that space, okay? But we can talk about that outside, and I fell in love with like hyphy and just that whole, the Bay is just a very different kind of culture. And then growing up in Milwaukee, we were kind of in the middle of everything. Chicago was nearby, so we had that hip hop, that Chicago hip hop sound that was evolving, and then you had house music, and then you had Detroit not too far away, but the Midwest was developing their own style of hip hop, and we were in the middle of everything. So that's how I fell in love with hip hop, and love it to this day. So.
Oh, how has hip hop impacted your art process?
Hello. All right, but hip hop, how that has impacted my art process. Um, Man, it just put me in a space to just pretty much be in tune with my emotions. You know what I mean, and put me in a space to curate stories through my art. You know, curate just pure messages through my art. I mean, the core essence of hip hop is to like share these like these vivid stories and I guess like in a more spiritual healing way. So for me, I would say like I'm gonna use an example like Tupac. You know, like the way Tupac put all his energy and that rawness into his music. I took a lot of inspiration from that. So I when I was younger, I would love to like just kind of, how can I take this energy and transmute it into my art? So when you look at my art, it's really like chaotic and raw, and it's just like very in your face. And I think that's what hip hop is. You feel what I'm saying? It's pretty much expressing yourself unapologetically and just, you know, whatever message you have in your heart, that's what comes out. And that's just, it is what it is, you know? So, I mean, that's just kind of like, graffiti. You know, graffiti was at one point, on the trains and that's what it was. It was like, saying your name or a message that you had in your heart. You just put it on the wall and yeah. So, yeah, hip hop, graffiti, and the energy that Tupac held definitely pretty much inspired my style of creation. So.
I would say for me, I'm an 80s baby, so I like to take like old vintage comics and then mix it with lyrics that I hear now. Actually, wearing one now, my painting. Of course, lyrics, and right behind me. So the lyrics for this one is from, if you know Yin Yang Twins, of course, the Wait Whisper song. That era was also fun. Cash Money Records, of course. So a lot of my work is really like focused to that. So most times when I listen to hip hop, I always like to take key lyrics and then just add it into just the comic realm and then add that some color to it, whether if it might be bold, might be sharp, or if I just want to just use this one completely solid color actually, then it just works for me.
Um, for me, I'm not an MC, but I do think I'm a storyteller. And so for me, hip hop influences me because I kind of ask it how it wants me to be a conduit to kind of carry the culture, carry the stories. So that's all.
Um, and that made me think of this brother right here is wearing his art process right now, and how hip hop has impacted fashion and just everything in society really. Um, and this is especially for I guess for my I don't want to date none of us, but I guess over 40 folks, or near 40, um, approaching 40, somewhere around there. We got to say whether we're under or over. But did you think hip hop would make it this far? In the words of Biggie, did you ever think hip hop would make it this far?
Absolutely. I mean, it's about storytelling, and we will always have a story to tell and share. It's so relatable. So, I mean, like, yeah, to answer your question, absolutely.
And do you know the moment you think you knew when it would stay? You can think on that while others are add on to that.
I add on to that. I think I definitely felt that, and I still feel like it's got a long way to go. Like I'm just even with Three Stacks coming out today, and it's not a hip hop album, so to speak, but it is a example of that kind of limitlessness that hip hop has. So I definitely saw it going this far. Looking like this, I'm not sure, because it's always moving. But
I can remember immediately. I remember the first time Funky 4 plus One More appeared on Saturday Night Live. That's when I knew, yeah, we're gonna do. This is gonna work. It wasn't immediate. I mean, even after that, I mean, it wasn't. There was no MTV. There was no. Once MTV and hip hop went quote unquote corporate, that's when you kind of knew that it was going to go some places, and that's when it expanded globally. But there were those times when, as a 12, 13-year-old, I knew hip hop was out there, but I didn't know how to explain it to my friends that, they heard it, but they didn't see it. Growing up in Florida, there was a college station, WMNF, and one of my friends DJ'd there, Cool Kenny K, rest in peace. But he would come on Sundays on the FM channel, college station, and he would play some of the music that I had. So I would have to turn it to WMNF, So there were rumblings, and there were times when you felt like, man, if they could just show some hip hop sometime, like it would be cool. Because you didn't have the internet. You didn't have, half the stuff that you have now. So for hip hop to become what it has become, it's ever evolving, but for it to become what it has become is amazing.
I was going to say, I don't think there was ever, can y'all hear me? Or do I need a mic? I was going to say, I don't think there was ever a time in which I thought there wouldn't be hip hop. To be honest, it will continue to morph and change and grow and expand as we do. So I think there will always be an audience, a community, someone to listen. Yeah.
And hip hop grew so quickly.
Yeah.
And like you said, it changed. It was
Yeah, very
untamed,
much so.
like pure raw, untamed entertainment. They were literal pioneers, and I still feel like people are pioneering things within hip hop, and hasn't reached its full potential yet.
Because even the Andre 3000 album that I have not heard, it's jazz, but I mean, hip hop is rooted in. I mean, it comes from, so there's connectivity.
Yeah.
Nonetheless,
all
yeah.
around.
Always.
Definitely. I'm gonna tackle two more questions, and actually, I'm gonna tackle one more question, and then I'm gonna open up. Actually, I got two more. I just saw the other one. This one is specifically for the ladies, but what does it mean to be a woman in hip hop? The good, the bad, the ugly.
It's very paradoxical, okay? Because even I was sitting here, we were talking about Too Short, and I love Too Short. I love Too Short, but I'm also hyper aware of, the fact that misogyny is a thing, it happens, and the culture is just not remiss of that. It just exists. But I think that in some ways that's kind of just how, as my experience as a black folk is that we kind of live in duality. My partner always talks about we're like sacred and profane all at once. And the same thing with being a woman in this culture is that we live in it's a duality, it's a complexity. We don't love everything, but we also appreciate the rawness and the realness. And I understand it. I don't want to speak for everyone. I understand it as an outlet that is, like you were saying, untamed, unfiltered. And I have to ask myself all the time, do I want to filter this expression or do I want to let it exist in its raw state? Or, or at least how I receive it. Do I want to receive it filtered? Do I want to receive it raw? And at the end of the day, for this person, I would rather that raw, untamed energy be there, and let the people decide how it morphs and how it moves into other iterations. But that's how I feel.
This works. Okay. For me, it's definitely power having that same amount of dominance coming in with that same raw energy, just as much as some of the male hip hop artists. I feel like for us, it's like if they can't do it, why can't we? If you can remain unfiltered, why can't we? I know in a sense it's kind of like, well, we gotta be ladies, okay, but at the same time, like, look, this is how we sound. This is what it is. How you take it is all on you.
I love that there are so many options of who we are and what we can do and listen to. Because some days I want to be a lady, some days maybe not, okay? I'm just being honest. And I love the fact that, we have that variety. And however we feel, we can tap into that because it's available for us, Yeah.
So Jean Grey and Lil Kim can live in the same space.
Basically,
There's
Sexy
room for
Red
all.
and Rap can live in the same space.
Right.
Yes. Ski. All right. I know,
Queen
I just had to go. I
Latifah
don't really,
and Foxy
but
Brown,
whatever.
all the way down to Foxy
Right.
Brown. Before we open up to the audience, how do you guys? I know we have one DJ in the building, but how do you guys feel about the DJ's role in hip hop now, and the progression of the DJ's role in hip hop?
Who wants that one?
Do you think the DJ is still important?
I can remember when the DJ was the focal point.
Sure.
And then the MC became, he was out front. He was the face of the group. And you can look at any group, Run DMC, Houdini, the DJ was sort of an after, Salt and Pepper. That's a bad example.
Yeah.
But sort of the progression of, and so I think that birth, DJs becoming, producers.
Sure.
With the advent of, technology, assisted, the 808s, the beats and things like that. Nowadays, I still appreciate a good DJ that can keep the party going, a DJ that is immersed in a variety, not just I've gone places, and I can hear one DJ play a set, and I go across town, I hear that same, maybe not the exact same set, but an iteration of it. Like, come on, man, there's more music out there.
Sure.
There are more artists out there. So I see the DJ still being important to the culture of hip hop, because it was the foundation. It was a part of the foundation to hip hop. Without, Kool Herc, playing the break beats, extending the breaks, the break dancers and, that whole thing, it doesn't evolve as fast as it did.
I have a personal beef with new DJs because I feel like they don't know how to mix, and that shit is annoying. And they don't know how to rock a party, and you suck. I can't hear the dance. So I just wanted to get that out. I've been wanting to get that out for a long time. I feel like if you didn't grow up with actual turntables, learning how to rock a party and like picking records, like you had, and the whole crate, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not that nice, son. So I just want to open the floor up to any and everybody out there who grew up in the hip hop age, which is all of us. And I know we got all kind of generations in here. So I just wanted to open up the floor to any questions that you may have of the panelists that you want to throw out there. Anybody?
Greetings, peace, and all the hair grease as well. So I wanted to ask you all to spit bars from a song that you know by heart. And I'm saying this because just listen. I'm saying this because as much as hip hop influenced me, I know MC Lights kicking cha 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 like word by word. That's the one song I know word by word because of MC Light's influence on me. So I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but if you want to, if you got that one song where you know at least 4 bars, go ahead.
Like, let go.
You know it's funky, 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 because you heard it from here say a jam that be kicking don't be getting no airplay. You're chilling. Or while you fronting around 12 o'clock at night with your windows down. Like breaking in your battery drain. Your Alma ties in the big gold chain. Parking outside of the hip hop spots. Or push the EQ, play connect the dots. People outside, folk everywhere. Trunk full of amps, ain't no room for a spare. A big beats bumping with the bass in the back. Sophisticated suckers catch a heart attack. And y'all don't understand why I act this way. You're funking up the funky beat until the break of day. When I'm riding by, y'all be on my shit, cause my shit is fly.
Hey!
LL Cool J. If y'all and like, if y'all never been to a LL Cool J concert, it's a thing. Like I didn't think it would be a thing, bruh. That dude performs like it's a thing. Like for real, you would never think that LL Cool J.
Yeah, okay. I've never seen him on.
He, yeah. I saw LL Cool J at cause all my cousins are older than me. So I was at South Carolina State Homecoming, and LL Cool J was the headliner, and I was probably like 8th grade or something like that. And I was like, LL Cool J, why is he here?
Yeah.
And then he got on stage and blew my mind. Wow. It was crazy. Okay. Hits on hits. Yeah. Yes, oh, man. I'm sorry. I just had a flashback.
I got brain fart. I got brain fart right now.
No? No? Okay. I know I'm trying to think. Like, all these songs, what's coming to mind right now?
Yeah, I did a verse. I'm sorry.
Hello. It's a Tupac song. It's like, since we all came from a woman, got a name from a woman, and I came from a woman. And then oh, there you go.
Okay, I think I got one. So this one, of course, is going to be a little bit more hinted towards the South. So Cadillac grills, Cadillac spills. Check out the oil of my Cadillac spill. Yes. Matter of fact, candy paint, Cadillac. I thought you were going to say the rest of it. But, yeah.
I feel like I'm about to do some salt and pepper. I don't want to push it. What's the other one? Here I go again, girl. What's my weakness? Okay, then, chillin', minding my business. Just sort of looked around and I couldn't believe this. I swear, I stare at my niece, my witness. The brother had it going on, something kind of wicked. Had to kick it. I'm not shy, so I asked for the digits. Oh, no, that don't make me see what I want to slip. I don't know. There you go.
I told y'all I wasn't an MC. But we since I did the West Coast, since I talked about the West Coast, and y'all can fill it in because I told you I'm not an MC. Now there she goes again, the dopest Ethiopian, and now the world around me, it keeps moving in slow motion whenever she happens to walk by. Just an apple of my eye, overlook and disregard my feelings no matter how much I try. Wait, no. I'm trying to remember, how did I really pursue my little princess with persistence? That she was so low-key that I was unaware of her existence from a distance I desired, secretly admired. I wired a letter to send her. I said, my dear, you do not know me, but I know you very well, and let me tell you about the feelings I do for you, and I try or make some sort of attempt. I simp. Damn, I wish I wasn't such a wimp.
Oh, let me see. I've forgotten more than I like. Let's see. 2 years ago, a friend of mine asked me to say some MC rhymes, so I said this rhyme I'm about to say. The rhyme was deaf, and then it went this way. Took a chance to become an MC. And that's it. That's it. Y'all know it.
That was a good question, by the way. Yeah.
That was fun. Question for y'all. Y'all could just, yell it out. But what are y'all listening to? Who are you listening to these days? Just yell it out.
Yes.
M? No? It's a no. Oh.
That's not Jack Harlow.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Anyone else? Who y'all listening to? Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Right. Rage. Dope. Anyone on this side? Right. Yeah. For sure. Absolutely. Cool. Dope. Dope. Okay. Oh, nice.
Great question. Um, I don't, but I'm not in a space where all I can do is what I can do. And, but I don't think that they do a good enough job. I held a watch party for the actual hip hop 50th anniversary that they had in New York. And there were people missing, not just the tribute, but there are some things in place now in terms of foundations that have started. I think they're finally seeing the light in trying to do more of a recognition. But up until now, I didn't think they did a really good job. But that's just me from my vantage point.
Yes, and I don't know if, sir, if you're referring when you say the elders, are you referring to the collective elders in general or the elders of hip hop? Right. Okay. So yeah, and yeah, I agree. I would say that not particularly. I think that these we're talking about a lot of our elders. What we don't really see as elders, they're pushing 60. Some of our folks are pushing 70 now. Where these are the creators. These are the people, the innovators that started the culture, and I don't think that there's always a knowledge present about who they were and their contribution, I think. And even our producers, a lot of our producers, because me and my son have this conversation. He say, "Oh, Mom, you so old," while he's listening to a 50-year-old producer, 60-year-old producer, or somebody that's pushing that age. So I think there's kind of a gap there where, you know, our producers are, you know, getting art cards. That's real, you know. And they need, and I think he spoke to something, I just want to say that really quick. Recently, I think that they gave $500,000 to, they started a fund where they were giving $500,000 because you have to think about it, hip-hop wasn't like, you know, you had a plumbers union or you had this, and that. It was something that people were not getting insurance for, even though, you know, it's now a whole culture. We're 50 years in, you know, so there are folks that are starting to organize around making sure that artists are getting paid, and not just paid, but have insurance and money that they can thrive off in some years to come.
Something to add to that, yeah. I mean, there were bad contracts back then. There were groups breaking up prematurely, in my opinion, due to probably bad contracts or whatever friendship relations, bad relations that they might have had. But to her point, yeah, I mean, I think LL Cool J had Rakim on his tour because, you know, he wanted to give back. So I think that there are things in place, and I think they're moving in the right direction. But prior to this year, I didn't see it. I saw a post on Instagram where they asked some young people to name the people on these pictures, and they were all R&B. And they could not name any of these people. And my thought process was, you know, back when I was that age, my parents made sure that I knew who these people were that they were listening to. So I think there has been like a gap there as well. And I think, so I think there's a lack of respect, or there's a gap, there's a generational a chasm there that is not, no compensation is being made to close.
Any other questions from the audience, y'all? Yes, we have one. For me, it's always been a thing of is kind of that's just life, and you know they're just telling the story of what they seen or building a story around their environment. So for me, I never saw it as negative or positive. It was just, you know, when it came to, you know, somebody like NWA or um, you know, anybody in that category during that time, it was just kind of them telling their story. I wasn't going out, you know, gang banging. You know, my mama would have whipped my ass. You know what I'm saying? So, and I didn't want to go to jail. So, because hip hop told you about that side too. So, you know, some folks say it was glorified, but I think it was for me interpreting it. And maybe it's just my sensibilities, but I just saw it as another form of storytelling and them telling the story. I was able to kind of separate the entertainment part of it a little bit.
I mean, for me, like my perspective is just like there's two sides of things. I mean, you know, hip hop is definitely like a raw form of self-expression. So one is like the artist is expressing like the environment that they grew up in and what they witnessed. And then the other side of it is like, you know, what gets pretty much pushed out to the mainstream media. You know what I mean? And pretty much the mainstream media is what pretty much guides the brains of like the community. So in today's world, right, I think the negative influence in hip hop is like, it's crazy. You know what I mean? I think it's definitely more worse than it was back then because, I mean, you got these these music labels pretty much pushing out like just drill music. You know what I mean? All they pretty much talking about is killing people. You know what I mean? But back when it was like they portrayed you speaking your mind as a negative thing back then, and now it's like blatantly in your face. They talking about shooting and killing their ops. You know what I mean? People that live on the same block as them. So it's just two sides of it. For me, it's like I said, the artists expressing their reality, and then the other side of it is just like these music labels pretty much pushing out that narrative. And that's what's pretty much influencing the community in a negative way because the youth obviously is gravitating to that and thinking that that's what they need to do to be cool when in reality, that's not what it is, so, yeah.
And to reiterate, I agree with both of those ideas. And I think early on, or probably the 80s, maybe 90s, I mean, there are a lot of guys that were on the streets, I mean, that were in the drug culture, that were in the gangs, that hip hop was born out of, not, let's not fight, let's come together and, play records and dance and have groups. So it was all set up to be something positive, but to their points, the media, if you're gonna take money out of schools and where kids don't have instruments, they had to create with what they had, and from that was hip hop, graffiti, breakdancing, MCing, DJing, and I think by and large, hip hop saved a lot of people. A lot of those guys were in the streets, were drug dealers, or were involved in the drug trade, but hip hop came along, and so there were some tragedies early on in hip hop, and even recently there are tragedies, not unlike what might have happened in rock and roll. I mean, I think there was drugs, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Like, there were negative connotations with that as well, but hip hop, I think, had a worse rap because it was rap, because it was something that was not supposed to last.
And I feel like it just gave us like some type of like spiritual guidance in a sense. You feel what I'm saying? Like you said, like hip hop, the core of it is about like unity and like creating and like self-expression, and like the people that don't want us to thrive and grow, them seeing that, it's like, all right, bet, let's go ahead and like twist and shift some of this stuff. And that's why you see a lot of this, like the drill music is just portrayed in the media at the forefront. You feel me? So I agree with that. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think poetry has always been the foundation of rap. Rap is just A B A B, C B A B A B A B. And but to your point, I guess more reference to it. I really do think it just comes with you can tell rappers that read. And if you read, then you're gonna come up with some clever, uh, double entendres and onomatopoeias and alliteration and all that good jazz. Everything poetry has, but just in a rhythmic format. And you can just tell the people that read and are able to regurgitate in their cadence. And then you tell the people that don't read, which is cool. I think you need a little bit of everything. But I do see a lot of rappers now doing it like a Rhapsody, like a Kendrick, like a J. Cole, like a No Name. Um, all those folks are doing it. But like they said, like you said, drill music is put out there to the forefront. So, it's certain things that are just put in the forefront now, where hip hop used to have a balance. Because social media and the internet, where most people get their music from, is the Wild Wild West. So you don't know what you're gonna get. You know what I'm saying? You might pop on something cool, or you be like, "This is trash." So it's and the radio plays the same 10 songs all day long. So you're not gonna get it from there. Um, so yeah, all that to say, I think poetry still is the foundation for most MCs. Um, and then also, I feel like the younger ones who that's not their thing, they end up becoming more mature, and it does become their thing. Because Lil Wayne, 20 years ago, has grown substantially as an MC and talking about different things. Well, still talking about some of the same shit. But, however, he'll throw a little nugget of information in there for you, now that he's older. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a different feel. You'd be like, oh, Lil Wayne read a book. How about that? But you know what I'm saying? Like, you can tell that reference that you catch. You be like, oh, you grown up. I like that. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm sorry, I'm rambling.
I would say that there was a very kind of like concerted effort, maybe early 2000s, where you had like, Black Lily movement up in Philadelphia. So you had your Ursula Ruckers and your Jessica Care Moore, and of course, Jill Scott, where those folks were kind of very connected and intertwined with the hip hop community, or just not even intertwined, but a part of the hip hop community. And poetry was just part and parcel to that in the sense of spoken word. But I think that still exists. You just might not be hearing those folks in your mainstream or your top songs on the radio. But I, definitely feel it exists.
More made me think of Saul Williams. Saul Williams is a perfect example.
Yeah.
Oh man, Hot in Here by Nilla. Where
You stole my shine right there.
right.
I got one. Okay, so my guilty pleasure is Juvenile. Back that ass up. Sorry, it is what it is. It is what it is.
That's everybody's.
And my breaking moment, for me, would be Nas One Mic. For me, I think it was a really like pivotal moment for me as growing up. Between like me and my cousin, we related a lot of things, but I think it's just the way that his tone, and even from how like the beats, how it changed, even with how his voice go from low to high, it was like I was angry at that time. So for me, I kind of felt like I just resonated with it for a little bit. And so for me, I was kind of was like, okay, let me keep listening to this even more. So I feel like anytime I get to that point where I get angry or if I get upset, I just go right back into listening to those lyrics again. I just get myself hype up and then lower myself back down again. It's just like a continuous of up and down motion from that music. Yeah.
So hard. Next, I can't. These are great. It's a great question,
Yeah.
but I'm like,
I can't, my guilty pleasure. I don't know. Anything too short? I just.
All
We're gonna
things
go back
too
to
short.
too short. And to be honest, DJ Quick and Sugar Free too. I'm just saying, if we're talking guilty pleasure.
Word.
But you said I think you stole my shine too on the album with "It Takes a Nation of Millions" because one of my defining moments is I got kicked out of music camp when I was younger. My mother sent me to, so for y'all don't know, I'm from Milwaukee. Milwaukee is about an hour north of Chicago, right? But you hear about the Green Bay Packers. Well, Green Bay is up in northern Wisconsin, right? So my mom sent me to a music camp up in northern Wisconsin. I was probably the only black child there. I was traumatized. But nonetheless, It Takes a Nation of Millions had just come out, and so I was blasting that because they had a stand on the University of Wisconsin, Green Bay, the college campus and dorm rooms. And that song just came out, and I was blasting on the radio. Camp counselor was like, you can't play that. Other kids are playing their rock music, they're doing things. I'm like, but why? And she goes and she literally went to the head, and I mean, this is over an album. She went to the head of the camp. She told them that she thought I was playing inflammatory music, and they kicked me out. And so, but that was very defining for me because it made me ask all kinds of questions about the why. Why did I get kicked out? Because I was extremely shy child, and I wasn't being confrontational, but they just didn't want me to play that song. And so, I was like, okay, this makes me want to do even more. So, very defining moment. So.
To answer the question, to just get over, some guilty pleasures like Rump Shaker will do it for me. Also, this y'all so lame, but let it come on. Can't touch this, I promise you. Or too legit to quit. Hey, get booked. Listen, the video. Okay. Let's see, defining moment. I guess it's up in there if y'all even consider Mary J hip hop. But I mean, like, what's the 411 Mary? Okay. Just the collabs. Again, it was just like seeing someone who looks like me, style, and was like fly, and stories that I could, could relate to. It was just dope. And then all the collabs that she did, particularly the one with Beth, like Sweet Morning. Mm-hmm. It just feels good. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so I mean, there's so many like different artists that I'm like thinking in my head, but as far as like guilty pleasures, it could be like Pop Smoke vibes, you know what I mean? Tupac hit 'em up vibes, Blasphemy vibes, throw some NWA on or something like that. I just say.
All right. All right.
But I'm just saying. I mean, those are the joints that I just bump. Like if I just need to like get into the mode of whether that's working out or just getting focused or something. Like I just put those on. But as far as like the positive side of those joints, man, there was just like this New York rap, like this 2012 New York rap where like Joey Badass, Underachievers, Flatbush Zombies, or Eric the Architect, like those, they were pretty much coming up, and they shifted a lot of things for me as far as like just kind of learning more about myself and more so on the spiritual side of things. And then if I needed to go back some more, Erica Badu, like I don't know, that's like anybody that's around me would know to tell you that I'll be bumping that on the daily, So. But if I had to choose a song, I don't know. I would say like Tupac, like Still I Rise, or Until the End of Time. Like those are two songs like when I was like 17. Those things was on daily. So So yeah, that would be mine.
You gotta go.
Guilty pleasure. Uncle Luke, Doodoo Brown. It's going down.
Yes.
It's going down.
Right.
We grew up on booty shape. We did not know the better things.
Right.
So, and that was real.
Yeah.
Like that was real. I guess changing for me when I heard Cool Like That. I was like, I want to be cool like them. I don't know what's happening, but I like everything that's happening. They just really opened me up musically. Like, hip hop didn't have to be all 808. Like it, came from jazz. They really put it out there in a way that was just cool like that. That whole album is front to back. I can play that whole album multiple times a day and never get tired of it. Yeah. Yeah.
I like Diggable Planets too. Diggable Planets is my vibe.
Is a knockout. Yeah, definitely. So we're gonna take one more question, y'all, and we're going to officially close out the exhibit. So feel free after we close out to roam around, take a look at the exhibit, buy something if you can. Christmas is right around the corner, so I'm sure they take payment plans and EBT, all that. Work it out, WIC, all that. We can work all that out. So yeah, please support the artist. And even if you can't buy anything today, please, follow them on Instagram, all the social media. Go talk to them, all that good jazz. And I just want to thank y'all for being here and being a part, and being here at Hayti and presenting with us. And hopefully we can collab on things to come. So.
And there's another artist in the audience.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Come on to the stage. At least just introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, my name is LaShawna Wilson. I also go by L. Will Art, and I'm just happy to be a part of this exhibit with these amazing creatives. It's a blessing. I'm just honored. Oh yeah, we'll create for food. Also, that's something I do in regards to when people buy my art, I try to help homeless, houseless people. So that's what I call We'll Create for Food. And I also sell flower pots on the side. So a brand called Pot stands for plants and other things. So basically flower pots used as ashtrays or put a plant in.
Dope.
Nice.
Dope. And Crystal just walked in, another
Crystal
artist.
just walked in?
Yes.
Crystal, you want to
Come on
introduce
up.
yourself and just say hello to the people? Come on up.
How y'all doing tonight? My name is Crystal. I am the owner of Nail Yeah in Raleigh, North Carolina. The hands out there with the door knockers on them, I created those. And
Yeah. Yeah.
When did you fall in love with hip hop?
What I say? Right. That was good.
I don't know, hip hop, I was born in 82, so hip hop was just coming along as I was coming along. So I don't ever remember really having a choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of like gospel music is kind of just like intertwined in there. I hear hip hop beats in other genres, just without trying. You hear it in nature. I don't know. I just always love hip hop. I love wordplay, even though I'm not a wordsmith like Quentin.
Right. Yeah. Yes, like Quentin.
2003
Right.
Quentin. I know 2004, 2003 Quentin. I'm not like you, but
I've never been an MC though. Like I
but you were.
I guess I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah, receive it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Y'all, my shit is dropping next.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm in Lower all in North Carolina. I'm in Raleigh. I'm sorry, I just got in off the road from Raleigh, and I've been in business for about 10 years, and I try to incorporate hip hop and all things that I'm personally interested in my business, because I know I'm not the only one, and that's all I got to say.
Thank you
for coming.
Yeah.
So if y'all want to go get your nails did, ladies or men, if you need a manicure, go see. It's Nail Yeah, right? Nail Yeah. Nail Yeah. And like she said, she did the fingernails on the acrylics on the wall. And I just wanted to piggyback off of something that what you said, which I think is a great way to end the night. Is that hip hop is in everything, in nature. You don't even know that it's been such a part of us growing up, that it's just been a part of us, and we all have grew up with it and evolved with it. So thank you for evolving with hip hop. And yeah, anybody want to say anything else before we close?
For y'all that have not followed me on Instagram, my Instagram is Alex_BTM, and my nonprofit Instagram is btm.metamorphic. So, yeah, y'all follow me.
I'll just say thank you to Hayti for allowing me to curate and to highlight quite a few artists who are more than deserving of platform. And thank you to Q, for reaching out personally, and for each of you for being here, and seeing us and loving hip hop. Yeah.
Well, with that said, y'all, we're going to turn on some music, and I think there's some more wine out there. Before you leave, meet somebody that you do not know. Say hello. You never know. You might make a new friend. Everybody do that before you leave. Meet somebody that you do not know. Say hello. You never know. You might make a new friend. And thank y'all for hanging out with us at Hayti. We have if you're still in town tomorrow, we got a slam tomorrow night. It's an all-women slam tomorrow night, so come check out the ladies. It's at 8 p.m. It's not body slam, poetry slam, son. He said wrestling. But nah, speaking of hip-hop and the basis of hip-hop, which is poetry, that's tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, and it'll be right here. So y'all come on through, and yeah, y'all have a happy Thanksgiving, Christmas, Coochie Chocolate, all that. You know what I'm saying? If I don't see you before the holidays. So thank y'all for hanging out with us, and yeah, to hip-hop.